diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Jimbo and Kyle take flight. 80s dreams are its delight. In the realm of black and white, movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when the memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
Earn 3.35% APY.
Oh, wow, boys. Let's try that again. We don't want to learn about no AP5Y finance from Robinhood.com. But you know what? We'll just skip the trailer tonight, right? So welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and I'm joined once again by my good friend and co-host.
Hey, this is Bond in Texas.
Bond. It's been a long time, brother.
Been a long time, man.
We don't know if this is going live streamed out on YouTube right now as we speak. So Bond's all dressed up in his Sunday best. Here I am with a Tom and Jerry shirt and an Elvis Presley wig on. So, Bond, we let you pick this week's movie. So why don't you tell the wonderful audience what that is?
Yeah, I sure will, man. All right. So what we did is we had a discussion. We're like, okay, let's pick a movie from each decade, starting with like the 1930s all the way up to the present. This is my 1930s pick. I picked It Happened One Night from 1934. It's an American romantic comedy starring, it stars Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable. Yeah, that's the one I picked. What do you think?
Well, I wish it would have only took me one night to watch this.
It happened one night, but it took a week to watch.
Yeah, you know, I mean, when you go back to that time and period and you look at some of the stuff that we've covered from there, I mean, you're talking Wizard of Oz, you're talking Gone with the Wind, and then you pull this out, man, it just doesn't hit the same.
Well, I was looking at this one going, this movie's like 92 years old, almost exactly 92 years old. Let me tell you some stats from this one, Jimbo, before we get started, break this movie down. This movie was a 1934 movie directed by Frank Capra. Hey, Frank Capra, we know him, right? Mm-hmm. He did It's a Wonderful Life. He did Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, those kind of movies. Great director, legendary director. This is actually based on a short story called The Night Bus from 1933. It was in a Cosmopolitan newspaper. It was by Samuel Hopkins Adams. And this movie is 105 minutes long. It took you a week to watch it. It's only an hour and a half.
Are you sure it's only an hour and a half? Are you sure?
It's 105 minutes, man. That's it.
Well, man.
You watched it 10 minutes at a time.
This is true. And this last 35 minutes I watched today killed me.
This movie came out February 22nd, 1934. So when I say it's almost exactly 92 years, it's really close. I don't know when this one's going to come out, but this really close to our recording date. Our budget for this movie was $325,000 in 1934, which translates to about $7.8 million today. It was a big box office success. It did $2.5 million at the box office.
But let me ask you a question, Bond. So back in 1935, how many screens did a movie theater have? As far
Not
as
many.
1, 2, maybe?
Yeah, and that's
well, wasn't
you
that
had to
many
live in a
theaters
city
there
to watch
either.
a movie.
Right.
Yeah. If you lived in a small town, you didn't have a movie theater. And if you lived in a bigger town, you might have had one movie theater. Right? And how much were movies back then? A dime? Quarter? You know what I'm saying?
This one should have been free.
Well, this one's probably part of a double feature, right? It did 2.5 million overall, which is $60 million today. So made for 7.8, it did 60 million. Not too bad. Come on. All right, so here's some of the cast, man. We have Clark Gable as Peter Warren. He is known as the King of Hollywood, sir. As you wear your King of Rock and Roll hair. He was the King of Hollywood.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He is considered the 7th best leading man of all time.
Who, Clark Gable?
Yeah, Clark Gable. Which I don't know. I don't know when that list was made, but...
Who would you put number 1?
Number 1 leading man of all time. Man, Humphrey Bogart, maybe? He's up there.
Cary Grant's got to be up there.
Cary Grant, yeah. He's got to be there. Tom Hanks, I think, might have been number 1 or 2, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, he's done a lot. I mean,
Harrison Ford.
Mel Gibson's got a lot, too.
Yeah.
But as far as leading, man,
leading, man.
No, it's probably what's his name from The Godfather and Streetcar Named Desire and all that. The guy that was in, you know who I'm talking about, Bond.
Yeah, it's slipping me.
Slipping you? You're older than I am. You're supposed to know these things.
I hope you don't mean Robert Duvall because
he was in Apocalypse Now. Man, what is his name? I can't believe I'm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm drawing a blank.
So you didn't look it up, or you want me to look it up? You said you was going to look it up, so.
All right, so Clark Gable was in the movies Gone with the Wind, Mutiny on the Bounty. He won an Academy Award for his role in this movie. Right? This movie is an Academy Award-winning movie.
Marlon Brando.
Oh, you think Marlon Brando's the number 1 leading man of all time?
No, but I'm saying he's probably in the top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's probably higher than Clark Gable.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, man, I guess Clark Gable was bigger than we think he is. I mean, it's been 90 years. Right?
Yeah.
So he's in this one. He actually won an Academy Award for this movie. This movie won a bunch of Academy Awards, so you better get used to it, Jimbo. Right? And then you have Claudette Colbert as Ellen or Ellie Andrews. She was in Cleopatra.
What'd you think of her?
I thought she was okay. I thought she was funny. I thought her hair was pretty cool. She had like that classic 1920s look to her. Right? You could tell who like carried over from the 1920s, the jazz era, the vaudeville. You can tell like all of that was just coming and turning into movies and stuff like that. And so they carry a lot of that stuff into these movies. Right? Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
The greatest leading man of all time, Marlon Brando.
Did I call it? Did I call it?
Yeah, but this is why I'm your co-host, because number 2, Humphrey Bogart. Number 3, Cary Grant.
And look at that. I am 2 for 2.
Oh,
wait a minute. Who's number 4?
Good.
Wait a minute. Let's see.
John Wayne.
That's who I was going to say next.
They have John Wayne, Tom Cruise, Jimmy Stewart. Those are all the top 5. Right,
Jimmy Stewart's one of my favorites. I should have known.
Come on. But anyway,
Tom Cruise?
That's not bad. Yeah, Tom Cruise, think about it. He's been a leading man for 30 years.
But I'd rather have Tom Hanks over Tom Cruise.
Yeah, me too. We have Walter Conley as Alexander Andrews. He was in The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. We have Roscoe Carnes as Oscar Shapley.
Not to be confused with Roscoe Barnes. I'm no relation, okay?
Oh, come on. Oh, I love this character. Oscar Shapley was the annoying bus passenger who tries to hit on Ellie and ends up getting threatened like later on. He's great. He was in a movie called His Girl Friday, which is a great comedy. We have Jameson Thomas as King Wesley. He actually died at 50 years old. He had tuberculosis. He was in Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Okay, so here's one character that I thought was pretty cool. Alan Hale as Danker, the singing car driver.
You know who Alan Hale is, right?
Well, do you know who his son is?
Was that the skipper off Gilligan's Island?
It is. his son is the skipper on Gilligan's Island. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
So it's like, here's a singing car driver. He's real corny in this movie. He ends up stealing her suitcase, or tries to steal her suitcases. And his son ends up being the skipper on Gilligan's Island. I thought that was great.
So Bond,
Mhm.
there's a famous song in this movie, right? The guy on the flying trapeze. Do you want to sing us a few bars of the guy on the flying trapeze?
Sure. He goes through the air with the greatest of ease, the daring young man on the flying trapeze. They sang like 7 verses of that song. They like took turns. I was like, everybody on the bus knew every verse of that song, man. That's crazy. Alan Hale was also Little John in the Robin Hood movies, like those 1930s.
The earlier ones.
Yeah. We have Arthur Hoyt as Zeke, the motel owner. I only wrote his name down because he was in 275 movies.
Wow.
I know. I was like, wow, that's a lot. Clark Gable was in like 60 or 70. This guy was in 275 movies. So he never said no to a script. Blanche Frederici as Zeke's wife. She was in The Night Nurse, and this is actually her last role. She passed away shortly after making this movie. The newspaper editor and Peter's boss, Clark Gable's boss, was in Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Charles Wilson. He was also in It's a Wonderful Life. And there's a lot of other little minor characters, but those are the main ones. I think the main ones are Clark Gable, right?
Claudette.
Colbert. Yeah. Those are like the main 2, and everybody else kind of plays around them. They touch on her father every once in a while. They touch on his boss every once in a while. But that's pretty much it, just those 2. And everybody else comes in and out.
So Bond, why don't you give us a plot of this movie?
Okay, so here's the rough plot of this one. You ready? Claudette Colbert, Ellie Andrews, is... What are you laughing about?
I can see you reading it. He's like, let me look at my notes because your glasses, I can see the paper.
Yeah,
like you were
because I don't have it memorized. Here it is right here. Right? I have the notes right here, man.
There's no AZ would be so mad because usually I'd put him on this, but he's like, oh, you threw me a curveball. Right?
No way, man. I have it ready to go. See, Ellen is married to King Wesley.
Is she married or is she getting married?
I think she's like engaged to be married. Like
right.
It's coming soon, right? And but at the last minute, she ditches it. She doesn't want to get married.
Well, let's start off what happens at the beginning of the movie. They are on a ship, right?
Yeah.
And
when I say she ditches them,
yeah,
she does.
So she's having dinner with her father, right? And she's having a temper tantrum about something, and the father's just eating casually because he's probably used to her being stupid, right? And
yeah, she always throws tantrums.
She's like, fine, and she'll storm out, and then you just see her swan dive off into the ocean, start swimming, right?
Yeah, I don't think she had a plan. I think her plan was just to get away.
Right.
I don't think she had a plan from there, man. So she dives into the water to try to get away. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
She ends up trying to get a bus, right? She's trying to take this bus. And the bus is pretty packed, and it comes down to her and Clark Gable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Peter. Now, Peter has just lost his job. He was a newspaper reporter, investigative reporter type guy, and he's kind of lost his job. Has he lost his job, or is he kind of like on some sort of probation where he hasn't brought a good story in a long time? So his boss is kind of like threatening to get rid of him, right? So Peter Warren's on this bus, Clark Gable, Claudette Colbert, Ellen is on this bus. But the problem is the bus is really packed and there's only one seat in the back. And so it's so funny because Peter moves all these newspapers that were in the back seat. He moves them out of the way. And as he's moving them out of the way, she slips into the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns around. He's like, hey, that's my seat. And she says something to the effect of, excuse me, bus driver, are these seats reserved? And she's like, nope, first come, first serve. And she goes, that's what I thought, right? And so she's all kind of smug about it. And then Clark Gable, Peter says, hey, that back seat, is that 2 to a seat? He goes, yeah, that one's for 2. He goes, that's what I thought. And he like squeezes in beside her. And so they're on the bus, man. She's getting away. they don't like each other, right? He kind of sees her as some kind of, I guess, like arrogant little girl, kind of a spoiled little girl, right?
Mhm.
And he's, of course, upset because he just lost his job. There's a reward out for her, though. Her dad, after she jumps off the boat, her dad, Mr. Andrews, puts out a reward for her safe return. The reward, Jimbo, is $10,000.
And
Now,
in
$10,000 in 1935,
1935,
yeah, that's like $250,000 today, right? It translates to about $240,000 today. So that's a significant reward for this to bring her back. It's not a straight bus ride. There's a stop in Jacksonville. And it's a mandatory stop. Everybody gets off the bus. They kind of stretch their legs. If you want to get something to eat, you can get something to eat. If you want to get a snack, you can get a snack. But this is the part, Jimbo, where Ellie's bag is stolen. Her suitcases are stolen off the bus. And so she's kind of stuck. She only has whatever money she has on her. She's lost pretty much everything she owns. She's lost her suitcases. So all she has is the couple bucks she has in her pocket.
and she's always like, well, I'm going to get something to eat. And he's like, you can't afford to eat. You just had something.
I think she had like $11 or something to her name. And he's like, you can't afford to eat dinner. Right. But so she's kind of stuck in Jacksonville. She's going to be stuck in Jacksonville. So Peter agrees to help her in exchange for an exclusive story.
Because he wants to be back on the front page of the newspaper.
Right. And so I think, is this the part where like they have to, there's like no more buses that day. So they're kind of forced to stay the night in Jacksonville. And I love that part because they have to get one hotel room. And he sets up the walls of Jericho.
Yes, I was laughing so hard at that because it's basically a clothesline from one side of the room to the other with a rug or something, right?
Yeah, he takes a blanket or a sheet and puts it over in between them.
Yeah.
So this right here, this is the wall. This is the wall of Jericho. You can't cross it. You can't blow it down, right? You're going to need trumpets.
He's like, I don't have any trumpets in here.
And so she's on one side. She gets ready for bed. He's on the other side. He gets ready for bed. And did you know that this set off a trend? Because in the movie, when he gets ready for bed, he's like making a comment about how a man gets ready for bed. He takes off his shirt, and he doesn't have an undershirt on.
Mm-hmm.
He's bare-chested, okay? In 1935, that was unheard of to not wear an undershirt under your dress shirt. He started that trend of not wearing undershirt under your dress shirt.
Well, see, I sweat too much. That would never work for me, Bond.
You'd have to wear two shirts.
I have to wear like 3 shirts.
They'd see your pit stains.
Yeah.
So he actually started, so he takes off his shirt. He gets ready for bed, right? And one of my favorite scenes, anybody who's married has to have this as one of their favorite scenes. The next morning, her dad has these detectives looking everywhere for her. So they're checking trains, planes, and automobiles. Man, they're checking everywhere. And sure enough, her dad's detectives are at the train station. They're looking, or the bus station. They're looking around, and they get to their hotel room, their room they're staying in. And how do they trick them? How do they get away?
Well, it's almost like they're cabins. They're like not really hotel rooms. They're like cabins that are separated.
Yeah,
right?
they're like part of the bus station, I guess.
I
like
don't know.
overnight.
It was kind of weird. But they act like they're newlyweds, right? Or married, and then they're sitting there and arguing. They're mad at each other. He's yelling at her.
Yeah, he's like, just play along.
And she starts crying.
Oh, that was so funny, man.
That was a good part.
The detectives come in. He's like, yeah, well, what about that guy that was hitting on you at the party last night? And she's like, oh, and they were just fighting back and forth. They were arguing and bickering like an old married couple or like a married couple. And sure enough, the detectives are all, sorry to bother you. Sorry, man. He goes, yeah, see what you did? You got her all worked up. It was funny, man. I love that scene. They like pretend to be in this argument.
There is a couple of times Clark Gable says in this, like about she deserves another socking. I was like, oh, well, we're going down that road, are we, Clark?
Yeah, the problem is she doesn't have enough socking. That's what it is,
Yeah.
man. So they take down the walls of Jericho. They're in a hurry because they're like, okay, the bus leaves pretty soon, right? You better get ready. So she has to scarf down her breakfast, her coffee, eat her eggs real fast so they can pack their bags and head. She doesn't have really anything to pack. She spends like the last little bit of money she has on a change of clothes, I think, and some toiletries. And that's about it. They get on this next bus. And the next bus, I guess, like, is this where they sing?
I think this is the flying trapeze, right?
I think this is where they sing. Yeah, they're on this bus. They're having a good old time, man. There's like this band playing and they're doing the flying trapeze and everybody's taking turns singing. Everybody knows the lyrics.
This is but is this where she's mad at him? Because is this where she sits by that guy, right? Because he goes to the back and he beats her to the bus or something. They get in an argument or something. And he gets to the back of the bus, puts his feet up or whatever. And then she sits down by that other guy that starts hitting on her. Or was that the first time she got on?
No, you're right. This is this time.
Okay.
Because, yeah, he like puts his feet up like, hey, I'm going to have all this space to myself, which forces her to sit next to the stranger. And that stranger's kind of like hitting on her and stuff like that. Totally makes her feel uncomfortable. And then Clark Gable like comes over and says, hey, honey, sorry I'm late kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know, she was married kind of thing. And so Clark Gable kind of gets in the way and saves her, protects her from that creep on the bus ride.
And I think this is the part where I think she starts to realize that she likes him because, they do that singing and then he sits down and then she puts her head on his shoulder and falls asleep, and Clark kind of looks at her like, oh,
yeah, this ain't so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because even when they spent the night together in that room with the wall of Jericho between them, she wasn't really still crazy about him. She thought he was kind of rude, which he is rude to her. I think she's used to being spoiled. And so because he didn't spoil her, he was very straightforward with her that she couldn't handle it. It was hard for her to accept. But yeah, he comes in, saves her from this creepy guy. And you're right. She falls asleep with her head on her shoulder. But the bus ends up getting into a wreck. I don't know. Flying trapeze song that throws them off.
Does it like go into it falls into a hole or something? Does it like the front end or something?
Ditch or something it falls into. And so that forces everyone to get out and walk. You can wait for the next bus or you can get out and walk. They decide to get out and walk. They're walking across a field.
Well, before that, though, the bus breaks down, right? And the guy that was hitting on her, he was like I don't know what you would call it, but he's in the field and Clark Gable runs after him, right? And he's like, look, do you know who that is? He said, that's this lady. And I'm trying, it's a story. It's a cover up. I'm not really doing anything. He's like, but because he was going to beat him up. Mm-hmm. He's like, if you say anything and blow my story, basically I'll kill you because he's trying to get it.
He made it sound like he was like part of the mob, or part of like some kind of gang.
So he's like, you don't go back to that bus. You just walk that way and you keep on going. So that guy just takes off running through the woods.
Well, that guy tries to blackmail Clark Gable at first.
Yeah.
He tries to blackmail Peter. He's like, hey, I know who she is.
Yeah.
And I know there's a reward for her. So, hey, let's work together. Either we work together and turn her into her dad, right? Or I'll blow this whole thing off. I'll blow it all up. And so you're right, man. I love that part where Peter's like, you know who this lady is? You know who I work for? You're lucky. And then he like puts his fingers in his pocket like he's got a gun.
Yeah.
He points his fingers at him through his pocket. Oh man, it's so funny. They try hitchhiking. This is a classic scene, right? They decide that they're going to get a car, they're going to hitchhike, and Peter, Clark Gable, he's bragging about what a great hitchhiker he is.
What's he say? There's 5 different ways to get a hitchhiker. You got to do the thumb all the way down.
Yeah, sometimes you got to lean into it. Then there's the slow hitch, right? I love it because she goes, we've done the hiking. How about the hitching part?
Yeah.
Because they've walked so far. She's tired. She's thirsty. You know what part I didn't get? She's starving. He gets a carrot. and he tries to give her a carrot. And
She's like, I don't want it.
a raw carrot?
Yeah.
You're going to eat a raw carrot? And he's like peeling it with a pocket knife, like scraping it with a pocket knife, cleaning it up.
Yeah. And she goes, so he's like, he can't understand it because there's like car after car after car after car comes by. She goes, and she's sitting on a fence, right? He comes over, sits down. She's like, oh, you mind if I give it a try?
I love that, man.
And she
First car that comes by, she just hikes up
her skirt a little bit.
Shows a little leg, and it's all first car. Oh man, he says something to the effect of like, "Hey, once you get naked, get us 40 cars." And she's like, "Well, if I ever need 40 cars, I will." I was like, man, that's hilarious. But yeah, she shows a little leg and she gets a ride. Man, that's hilarious. But they have bad luck again, Jimbo, because this guy's a crook.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that picks her up or picks them up and gives them a ride is what's known as a highwayman. Now, I don't know if they exist anymore because not that many people hitchhike as much as they used to. But for those out there that don't know, a highwayman is a person who picks up hitchhikers and robs them. And so that's exactly what he does. He tries to steal like all of their luggage, to steal all their stuff.
Well, he does, because they stop off at that restaurant or gas station, remember? And he fills up and he takes off. He's gone in their bags, or he's like, our baggage is in the back of that thing. And Peter takes off running after him.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But what happens? He comes back with the car.
Yeah. He ends up getting it back. He ends up stealing the car back, getting it back. I forgot how he gets it back, but he did.
I don't know if it shows it. It just shows him coming back. But
just shows him coming back with it, right?
Right. And I don't know, is the baggage still gone? The luggage? I couldn't remember.
No, I think the luggage is still in the back because they end up getting a hotel in New Jersey, or a motel in New Jersey. And they set up that second wall of Jericho.
No, but wait a minute. When do they spend the night outside in the hay?
That's right before the hitchhiking scene.
Okay. We didn't talk about that. So
right before the hitchhiking scene,
they have they're
walking.
They have a nice little conversation there too about, why did you never get married, or have you ever been married, and all that. So she's starting to dive in a little bit, and I think he's starting to fall for her too there. You can see the chemistry between them really starting to work. Neither one wants to admit it to the other one though.
Yeah. She's asking him, have you ever been in love? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so nice because he like pulls a whole bunch of hay down and makes like a little bed for her out of hay. He offers her a carrot. She doesn't want to eat a raw carrot, that kind of stuff. So he's been taking care of her. And he doesn't care about her money, her name, her father's name, right? Doesn't care about any of those things. He doesn't even really care about the story that he's supposed to be writing, this investigative story he's supposed to be writing, because he's not asking her questions and writing stuff down. He's just trying to get her back to New York. Well, they end up in New Jersey, which is really close to New York. They ended up getting a motel there. And this is the scene where he sets up the wall of Jericho and she can't take it anymore. She's got to go on the other side of the blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She confesses her love to Peter and says, I don't want to go back. I want you.
Take me with you.
Yeah, take me with you. Yeah, because she asked him a question about like this getaway. He's talking about this like perfect getaway where he goes off by himself, or he goes off to this exotic land, and she wants to go with him. Take me with you.
And he rejects her, right? And she goes running back, and she is bawling so hard she cries herself to sleep like a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they always smoking in bed too? Clark's got a cigarette.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Man. That's dangerous. He, I don't think he feels worthy of her because of her lifestyle. He can't provide for her the lifestyle that she's used to.
Mm-hmm.
He's unemployed. He barely has a job at the newspaper. He needs this story to keep his job at the newspaper. So how's he going to provide for this girl, this rich girl that's used to yachts and cruises and things all around the world, traveling the
And
world.
she won't even eat a raw carrot for you.
Yeah, which I think's weird. It's like,
But she does end up
Carrot.
eating a carrot, remember?
Yeah, I think she ends up eating one. Peter goes to see her father. That's where he heads off. She thinks he's upset and just left her there.
Well,
And
she's
just
asleep.
abandoned.
So he's like, I have to go. He goes and sees her father. I don't even think it's her father. I think it's his editor. He goes, sees the editor and says, look, I've got the biggest story of the lifetime. He's like, but look, he's like, I love this girl. I need $1,000.
Oh,
And
that's
he's
right.
like, because she's about to marry
$1,000.
somebody else. I need to run. I can't pretty much run away with her with no money. He's like, I'll get you this exclusive story. And the editor's like, well, who's going to marry her? And he's like, me. So now he's thinking, huh, maybe I can have this life. So while he's doing all that, the couple the older couple that owns the hotel, right? Because they had said, look, we're going to stay the whole week. We'll give you the money. Just trust me. And the wife's like, see, I told you the car's gone. They robbed you blind. You fool. You can't trust anybody these days. The husband's like, no. So they go and knock on the door, right? And nobody answers. They open the door and they're like, look, see, we told you they're gone. And he looks around the side of the walls of Jericho, if you will. And she's there and they're like, oh, well, she's serious. They're like, what do you mean I'm still here? Where's he? He's gone. And she's like, what? So what happens is she now thinks that Clark Gable has run away, left her there. So what does she do? She calls her father, and you find that out not right away, but Clark Gable's like, all right, he's coming back, and he's all happy and singing and driving. He's driving back. He's trying to make it back before she wakes up, because I don't know how far that drive was, but it was pretty far for him to go and get back.
Yeah, well, I mean, the motel is in New Jersey and they're in New York, so however long it takes to get whatever part of New Jersey to whatever part of New York.
So as he's driving along, he sees these two police car or motorcycles, and there's like a limousine type car, an old fashioned car, and then there's like 6 police cars. He's like, oh, look, they got me a chauffeur to go back or whatever, and he's honking out, trying to catch up. And so they went on, and obviously he doesn't know, but that's her dad inside that motorcade. Well, he's driving, and then he's coming up, and a train pulls out, and he's waving to like the conductor. He's waving to the guy sitting on top of the train. He's waving to the hobos that are inside the cart. Right? He's having fun, and on the other side is the police, and they have picked up Claudia. I can't think of what's her name in this.
Ellen.
Yeah, they picked up Ellen. And so when the train leaves, they're driving, and Peter looks over and he sees Ellen there, and she looks terrible with her head on her dad's shoulder or whatever. And he's like, huh, what, wait a minute. And because he's talking to the guy that operates the crane or whatever to come up and down to block the train. The guy's like, you're crazy. But obviously they have better cars. This car's about had it anyway. So he can't catch up. So I guess he just finally decides, I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Do you think that the hotel owners thought she was a prostitute?
Well, because she does say something like, I told you she wasn't his wife or something like that, remember?
Yeah, and then when they show up, like the guy's gone, but she's still in bed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wonder if they thought that she was a prostitute.
I don't know.
Either way, they kick her out.
Right. So, and she's like, the next time you come down through here, you better pay up front. So now, it's like, oh, Ellen's been found, all these newspapers. And now Peter's boss is mad. He's like, I want an APB out for Peter because that man stole basically $1,000 from me too.
Yeah.
And so you see Ellen and her dad, she's in her wedding gown, right? It's like getting married today, wherever. Her dad blocks the what do you call it? The elopement, and they're gonna have a big church wedding on the front of the newspaper. So you see her; she's in her wedding. What do you think of that wedding gown? It's kind of just, I don't know. It's just plain, right? Would you say it almost looks like a nightgown with a long veil? And her dad's having a talk with her, and he's like, "Princess, what's wrong?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, nothing." She tries to hold off as long as she can, And she finally breaks down and tells him and all that. And he's like, do you mean Peter Cullen or whatever his name was?
Mhm.
Because he goes and he's reaching in his coat pocket, right? And she's like, he's like, Peter Cullen. He's like, oh no. She's like, is that from Peter? And she pulls out this letter or telegram that Peter had written and said, hey, I need to meet with you about the reward, if you will. So now she's upset because she loves him. Her dad knows she loves him. And now Peter's went back to his boss. His boss isn't there. He comes in and he says, hey, give this to him. Tell him, I'm sorry, things didn't work out. There's no story or whatever. So he's giving the money back. So Peter ends up calling the father and says, hey, can I meet with you? He's like, yeah, come on by. And he's like, well, I'd rather not meet with you in person. He's like, no, you need to come on by. He says, let's get this taken. I cut a check and you can get on your way. So he goes to the house and he's starting to talk to his dad. And he's like, he gives him this list of expenses. Like I think it came up to like $39.14 or something. He's like, well, what about the $10,000 reward? He's like, I don't want the reward. He said, I just, I got your daughter back to you. This is what I want. This is my expenses and I'll get out here. And he's like,
yeah, he just wants to be reimbursed for his expenses on the trip. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like $39.60 or something.
And he's like,
that.
She's the most stubborn, hard-headed, blah, blah, blah. And so he's like, well, here you go. Here's your check. And he's like, can I ask you a frank question? Can I just ask you one question? He's like, do you love her? He's like, what kind of man would love her? They must be sick in the head to blah, blah, blah. He's like, but do you love her? And he goes off on another tangent. And he goes to open the door and he says one more time, he's like, you didn't answer my question. He's like, yes, I love her. He's like, and I'm a little crazy in the head too. And he opens the door and she's standing out there with a group of guests or whatever. And she says something. She's been drinking and he just takes off, right? So he leaves and next scene is the wedding. Well, this is really cool too, because this is my prop piece, Bond, because I want that gyrocopter thing that King Wesley came flying in on.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
1930s. How come we don't have those now?
I don't know, but that was awesome. I said, I want this thing as my prop, so Bond can't take it.
I thought that was crazy. All right, you could have it.
All right.
So I was really upset the fact that we don't have one of those in every garage now.
Right. So he lands, he gets out. Everybody's like, hey, King Wesley or Prince Wesley, whatever he was.
Yeah.
And so they start the ceremony, and the dad is walking Ellen down the aisle, and he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And she doesn't say anything. He's like, it's not too late. He loves you. He told me himself in my office this afternoon. She doesn't say anything. He's like, if you change your mind, there's a car waiting at the driveway. Right? So he's giving her every opportunity. He's like, are you sure? So she gets up there and they go, dearly beloved, we're gathered here today. If there's anybody here that finds a just reason these two shouldn't be together, speak now, forever hold your peace, right? And the dad wants to say something. He really does. But he doesn't say anything. And I thought maybe old Peter would show up at this moment and say something, but no, doesn't do that either.
Nope.
So they go to Wesley and they ask him, do you take this woman to love and cherish, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I do. And then they go to Ellen and ask her, Ellen, do you take this man, blah, blah, blah. And she shakes her head and she just starts running away from the
She's
wedding.
She's the runaway bride again.
Yeah.
All the movies we cover have
and they're
runaway
like,
brides in them.
Ellen, she runs and she hops in the car, and that veil thing she had on was 40 foot long, probably. I was like, it's going to get stuck in the car again. And they're all, and then they ask the dad, did you know anything about this? Why would she do this? He's like, I don't know.
That's true.
So she takes off, and I'll let Bond bring it home.
Well, first off, they have to pay King Wesley off.
$100,000. And he's like, remember, he's like, well, that should be fine. I took care of you.
Yeah, because it was like, if $10,000 is $250,000, then this is like $2.5 million to walk away from this marriage. And they do. He does. I just love the part where they have like the the Wall of Jericho. Right? I guess they're in their honeymoon suite, their honeymoon room.
Is that the same one that they went to those old couple?
I don't know, but I kind of hope it is.
I do too.
I kind of hope it's the same one. You just see the lights in there, and
you see,
ask like, what's happening in there? He goes, the walls of Jericho are toppling,
and you hear the.
I hear the trumpet.
It sounds like harmonica. It's not even a trumpet, I think.
Oh man, it's funny. And Mr. Andrews confirms that Peter can let them topple. That's what her dad says. Let them topple. Right?
Yeah. And then
the trumpet's playing. The blanket falls to the floor of the cabin.
Yeah.
Right?
Lights go out.
Lights go out. That's the end of the play, man. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. So
it's cute. It's a very cute movie.
We're not done, Bon. We got some trivia to talk about before you start talking about how cutesy and artsy it is. Okay.
What about the awards too, man?
My first thing of trivia. Clark Gable gave the Oscar he won for his performance in this movie to a child who admired it, telling him it was the winning of the statue that mattered, not owning it. The child returned the Oscar to the Gable family after Clark's death.
So he just gave it away?
Just gave it away. He's like, it's just winning it. It's just a statue. He's like, it's more important to win it than just to have a memento of it, I guess.
You get credit for winning it, but nobody ever asked, hey, can I see that statue you won?
All right, Bond, you want to throw some awards this way?
This movie won 5 Academy Awards. It's one of only 3 movies to win the Big 5. This is the first movie to do it. Right? I'm talking Best Actor, Best Director, Best Picture, right? Best Actress, the Big 5, right? It won all 5 at the 7th Annual Academy Awards in 1934. Amazing. What were the other 2 movies, Jimbo, that won the Big 5?
All right. If I have to guess, I'm going to say Titanic and Forrest Gump.
Ooh, so close.
Did I get one of them?
No.
Oh.
When I tried to guess 2, I got 1 right. Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Because I remember distinctly, like, that one won Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress. The other one was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That was a great movie. It really was.
So those 3 movies won the Big 5 at the Academy Awards. Yeah. What else? All right. Do you have any more trivia for us?
Oh, yeah. We got a bunch.
All right. Go for it, man.
You know what? That's sad because my very next one, it had the answers right in front of me. But I could have cheated.
Could have looked down.
So they did do the Big 5, right? But it was duplicated by One Flew Over and Silence of the Lambs. However, It Happened One Night is the only one not nominated in any other category. So they won the Big 5, but they weren't nominated for
So they won 5 out of 5.
Well, but no, but like costumes or whatever. They weren't nominated, I guess, for those other shorter ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when director Frank Capra asked Claudette Colbert to expose her leg for the hitchhiking scene, she initially refused. Later, after having seen the leg of her body double, she changed her mind, insisting, "That's not my leg." While shooting the scene where he undresses, Clark Gable had trouble removing his undershirt while keeping his humorous flow going and took too long. As a result, the undershirt was abandoned altogether. That's why, Bond, it happened.
See? There you go.
An urban legend follows that it then became cool to not wear an undershirt, which supposedly resulted in a large drop in undershirt sales around the country. Legend also has it that in response, some underwear manufacturers tried to sue Columbia. So Bond was part of the urban legend earlier. I didn't want to interrupt him, but he's like...
No, that's awesome, man. Can you imagine suing Columbia Pictures because people aren't buying undershirts anymore? It's all Clark Gable and your stupid movie's fault.
Yep. So Fritz Freeling's unpublished memoirs mentioned that this was one of his favorite films and that it contains at least 3 things which the character Bugs Bunny was based on.
Nice.
The character Oscar Shapley's, who was Roscoe Karn's personality, the manner in which Peter Warren, who was Clark Gable, was eating carrots and talking quickly at the same time, and the imaginary character mentioned once to frighten Oscar Shapley named Bugs Dooley. Other mentions of the Looney Tune characters from this film include Alexander Andrews and King Wesley being the inspirations for Yosemite Sam and Pepe Le Pew, respectively.
Oh, that's awesome.
Claudette Colbert complained nearly every day during the making of this film. On the last day of shooting, she told a friend, "I just finished making the worst picture I've ever made."
Oh,
wow.
That's sad.
Oh, by the way, Clark Gable was loaned to this film by MGM as punishment for his affair with Joan Crawford.
Oh, man.
Got an Oscar for it. And Joan Crawford.
Say, way to punish him.
So Columbia Pictures was considered a Poverty Row studio at the time of this film's release. Both MGM and Warner Brothers would lend out temperamental actors to Columbia as punishment for real or imagined wrongdoings. Columbia boss Harry Cohn was loathed paying for his own roster of contract stars during the early 30s, would invariably assign them to work on Frank Capra's films. Although the studio had received Oscar nominations prior to this picture, it successfully virtually single-handedly lifted Columbia out of the ranks of Poverty Row. So this film basically saved Columbia Pictures.
Nice.
Instead of the usual static camera setup, Frank Capra insisted on sticking a camera onto a crane. This enabled him to do more tracking shots, which was entirely in keeping with a film in which the main characters spend most of their time on the move. Constance Bennett and Myrna Loy, among others, turned down the script. Claudette Colbert only accepted because Capra promised her he would double her salary and she would be done in just 4 weeks. She disliked the film so much, however, that she did not even attend the Oscars, where she won for Best Actress. Wow. She was found about to leave on a trip and was rushed to the ceremony, where she made her acceptance speech in a traveling suit. Wow. Wow.
The Academy Awards were so different back then.
Right.
Best Actress doesn't show up. Best Actor gives his award away.
Right. So director Frank Capra came up with the idea about the Walls of Jericho because Claudette Colbert refused to undress in front of the cameras, a somewhat puzzling acting choice given her nude milk bath scene as Empress Pompeia in 1932's The Sign of the Cross and another in Cleopatra in 1934. So although Claudette and Frank Capra had a slightly cantankerous relationship during the making of the film, she nevertheless appreciated his efforts and thanked him at the Academy Awards, where she won the Oscars for Best Actress. According to Frank Capra in an interview with Richard Schickel for the men who made the movies, quote, "We made the picture really quick. 4 weeks. It was only 4 weeks they made it, man. We stumbled through it. We laughed our way through it, and it goes to show you how much luck and timing and being in the right place at the right time means in show business. How sometimes no preparation at all is better than all the preparation in the world, and sometimes you need great preparation, but you can never outguess this thing called creativity. It happens in the strangest places and under the strangest of circumstances. I didn't care much for the picture. It turned out to be happened one night." That's crazy. 4 weeks to shoot this, Bond. 4. Probably took a week just to shoot the man on the flying trapeze stuff. Clark Gable arrived for his first meeting with Frank Capra drunk, rude, and angry. In spite of this, and at the beginning, they eventually became friends. This is often credited as the first screwball comedy.
Nice.
So in 1996, which was the year I graduated high school, I'm getting old. It's my 30-year anniversary this year. Steven Spielberg anonymously purchased Clark Gable's Oscar to protect it from further commercial exploitation, gave it back to the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, commenting that he could think of no better sanctuary for Gable's only Oscar than the Motion Picture Academy. His only Oscar was from this movie.
Wow.
He probably should have got one for Gone with the Wind, man. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. How did you not get one for that?
Claudette Colbert had a banner year in 1934. She headlined not one, but 3 hit films that were all Academy Award nominees for Best Picture. It Happened One Night, Cleopatra, and The Imitation of Life. So she had 3.
Whoa.
She was bound to win one of them.
I was going to say, if she didn't win that year.
Robert Montgomery turned down the male lead, saying the script was the worst thing he had ever read. Frederick March also refused the part. So when Clark Gable showed up for work on his first day, he reportedly said grimly, "Let's get this over with." That's how I feel every day I go into work. Betty Davis wanted the role of Ellie, but Warner Brothers refused to loan her. Man.
Mm.
Claudette, under contract to Paramount, had 4 weeks free, but she is also a hard sell. She'd made her first film, For the Love of Mike, in 1927 with Frank Capra directing, and it had been a disaster, so she was not excited about repeating this experience. What did excite her, however, was the prospect of making $50,000 for just 4 weeks of work, since her Paramount salary was $25,000 per film. So she willingly agreed to do it, but at the same time, she gave Capra a hard time about it. $50,000, man.
$50,000.
Yep. At the Miami bus station, friends of Peter Warren referred to him as the King, which was Gable's nickname in real life. I never knew he was a king. Did you? The nickname the King?
Well, remember the budget for this movie was $325,000. $50,000 of that was just her salary.
Wow.
So that's a significant chunk of the budget was just paying her.
So since this movie was filmed near the end of 1933, all of the actors are, of course, no longer alive. The last surviving credited and possibly uncredited as well cast member was the star Claudette Colbert, who died in 1996 at the age of 92, 62 years after this film's initial release. As the last survivor of the film, she was dumbfounded at its continued popularity and reputation as a classic masterpiece of American cinema decades later for a film that neither she nor Clark Gable wanted to do.
That's funny.
Wow. All right, Bond. Here's a little trivia for you.
All right, let's see what you got.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies holds the record for winning all the awards in every single major category in which it was nominated for at the Academy Awards, including Best Picture. And
all right, so
it is not any of the ones you said earlier.
It's not, huh? All right, well, let's go Forrest Gump.
Nope.
I like that one. I like Titanic. I think that was a good answer.
Nope.
That it won Best Picture?
They won all the awards in every single major category in which they were nominated for at the Academy Awards. So I'll help you out because you'll probably only know one of these.
Is it that Everything All at Once
No.
came out? No.
Well, maybe. I don't know when this list was updated. So,
When this list came out? Okay.
It happened one night in 1934 along with Gigi or Gigi or whatever, Gigi in 1958. The Last Emperor in 1987. Okay. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King in 2003, and Coda in 2021 holds the record for winning all the awards in every single major category. So this was the first film to clinch both the Best Actor and Best Actress Oscars. This has only happened 6 times since. 75, of course, was Jack Nicholson and Louise Fletcher for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Peter Finch and Faye Dunaway won for Network in 1976. John Voight and Jane Fonda both won for Coming Home in 1978. Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn both won for On Golden Pond. That's a great movie. Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster both won for Silence of the Lamb, and Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt both won for As Good as It Gets. It happened one night, became the very first romantic comedy to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. This feat would later be duplicated by You Can't Take It With You in 1938, which was another Frank Capra film. What a great director.
Yeah.
The Apartment in 1960, I believe that's with Jack Lemmon and I can't think of her name. Annie Hall in 1977, Terms of Endearment in 1983, Shakespeare in Love, 1988, and The Artist in 2011. It is widely believed that MGM ensured their contracted star Clark Gable would receive the Best Actor Oscar to promote his career at the studio. Only 3 actors were nominated that year, and it was widely believed Charles Laughton would have won easily for his highly acclaimed performance as the tyrannical father in The Barretts of Wimpole Street, which I've never seen, but he had a nomination for that too. So here we go. What about this? This is the kind of fact that you don't find in history. According to William L. Shirer's Berlin Diary, this picture was one of Adolf Hitler's and Joseph Stalin's favorite movies.
Oh, man. Imagine them getting together, popping some corn.
Corn.
And sitting down watching this movie.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, what time should we start? And Hitler's like, 9.
You always want to start at 9 every night.
Oh man, that's kind of interesting stuff.
Cool.
Character actor Ward Bond had his uncredited part as the first bus driver in the film. In real life, Bond was one of Clark Gable's closest friends. Is that any relation to you, Bond?
You know what? I saw that. I looked it up. No. I know. I was all excited. I was like, I'm famous. No.
You could have lied.
Yeah.
So Myrna Loy, Frank Capra's first choice, turned down the role of Ellie Andrews because a recent film set on a bus had failed, and she didn't think that this film would succeed. Margaret Sullivan, Miriam Hopkins, Carol Lombard, who was Clark Gable's future wife, and Constance Bennett also turned down the script. This is ranked number 3 on the American Film Institute's list of the 10 greatest films in the genre of romantic comedy. Bond, what's your favorite romantic comedy?
Romantic comedy has to be, let's see, Billy Crystal, right? Which one's that? I forgot the name of it offhand.
When Harry Met Sally?
Billy Crystal. Yeah, When Harry Met Sally. I think that's my favorite one of all time.
Okay.
What about you?
Pretty Woman? Is that considered
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if your idea of a romantic comedy is marrying a prostitute, go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, I got a quick one for you.
Oh, no.
Did you know that Laurel and Hardy copied the famous hitchhiking scene in their 1937 movie Way Out West?
I have. I've seen it. It's funny.
Yeah, they apparently, what does one of them show his leg and stop a car?
You got to watch it. I ain't going to ruin it for you. But do you know that in just 6 years later, in the movie Boomtown in 1940, Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable teamed up again, but it was not as successful as this movie. So when Peter Clark Gable sends the telegram from Jacksonville, Florida to New York City, the clerk tells him the cost is $2.60. Due to the inflation, that is equivalent to $51.56 in 2020. So, and I'm sure it's probably even more than that
now.
Here you go. King Wesley's Auto Gyro was a Kellett K3 registered NC12691. It also appeared in International House in 1933. I want that. That was so cool.
How is that not a thing?
I don't know. I was driving home one day and I seen somebody with the one, but you had to pedal, you know what I mean? Pedal, and it was up in the air with like a parachute glider, like a glider thing. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. It's just like right over there. So I was like, what does this guy just falls? Lux Radio.
Have you ever seen the movie Spaceballs?
Spaceballs?
Spaceballs. The wedding scene from Spaceballs has the exact same plot as this movie.
It does. Except there's no droid on the back of him. Of her.
True. Lux says right here that as she walks down the aisle to wed Prince Valium, Princess Vespa is told by King Roland that Lone Star forsake the reward for the princess's return and only asked to be reimbursed for the cost of the trip.
I wonder if Mel Brooks ripped it from here. Had to, right?
I had to. There's no way, There's no way. Mel Brooks has to be a fan of this movie.
Lux Radio Theater broadcast a 60-minute radio adaptation of the humorous movie on Monday evening, March 20th, 1939, with Claudette and Clark Gable reprising their character film roles. I would love to listen to some of those old radio shows, especially based on movies that we've covered and where they reprise their own roles. It just gives you a whole nother dimension.
We'd have to see if those are available, because I would definitely put those in my car and listen to them on the way to work.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Clark Gable does the tough guy spit after scaring Shapley, then wipes it off his jacket. Jimmy Stewart did that as George Bailey, but he's an air raid warden, and It's a Wonderful Life too. So, also the stocking hitchhiking scene. They did it in the anime cartoon Pinky and the Brain, I think, and also the Pink Panther did it as well. So, did you like the Pink Panther, Bond?
Yeah, I like Pinky and the Brain and the Pink Panther.
Which one do you like better?
Probably Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
It's just funnier.
On February 23rd, 1934, the New York Daily News Review was headlined, "Good Team in a Weak Vehicle at Music Hall." The wedding scene at the end of Heartbreaker is a reprise of a wedding scene in this film. So, Ellie is introduced, declaring to her father that she and King are married and there is nothing he can do about it. Reporter Peter Warren is introduced, with fellow reporters hailing him king for standing up to his editor. Clearly influenced by Rob Reiner's The Sure Thing in 1985. R.I.P. Rob. We lost him earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of Anne Hathaway's favorite films. There's a bunch of other little stuff in here, but did you know, though, did you know that there is a cameo by the director, Frank Capra, in this movie, Bond? Did you spot him?
He could star in this movie. I wouldn't recognize
He
him. I
is
don't know what
one
Frank Capra looks like.
of the passengers on the bus singing the third couplet of The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze. So I guess he's the third, he's singing in it, right?
All right. So I'll have to check it out.
He says the third couplet.
Third couplet comes up. I'll have to check it out.
I don't know what couplet is. Does that just mean verse for us stupid people?
Yeah.
Thanks, Bond. Thanks for calling me stupid. So there you go. It happened one night. Bond, what's your ratings, fillings, reviews, prop?
Okay, so here's the deal. This is the OG romantic comedy, right? As much as sometimes it's hard to watch these movies that are 90 or plus years old. I get that, but this movie is the original romantic comedy. You have to watch this because, like you and I have been referencing throughout the podcast, so many other movies get their ideas, get their scenes, get whatever from this movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's like a list of movies. Spaceball, Runaway Bride, Forces of Nature, right? The Sure Thing, right? Leap Year. There's all of these different movies that are just this movie rehashed in a different way. There are some scenes that are kind of boring. I can see how when you were watching it, you'd watch it for 20 minutes or so, and then you'd have to take a break and watch another 20 minutes. But there's also some classic scenes. The Wall of Jericho scenes are hilarious. The hitchhiking scene's hilarious. The time where Peter threatens to beat up the pervert on the bus. Anytime those two, the actor and actresses, interact with each other, I thought it was pretty entertaining. It was pretty fun. You could definitely see the romance growing. Sometimes when we see these romantic comedies, the romance and the love comes out of nowhere. I didn't see that with this one. This one, actually, you could see it growing over time. You could see the relationship changing. The more he opens up, the more she falls in love with him. So I kind of like that, man. You could see that connection to old vaudeville. You could see that connection to radio in this one. This is the early 1930s. They're still getting used to what do movies look like? What should movies have in them? So, of course, it has the Flying Trapeze song because movies in the 20s and 30s always had this musical interlude, if you will. And that's a carryover from the vaudeville days where they would have musical entertainment between the acts. I give this movie 7.5. You know what I'm saying? I think for a 90-plus-year-old movie, 7.5 is pretty good, man. My prop piece is pretty easy. I want the Wall of Jericho. I take it back. My wife wants the Wall of Jericho. I'll take that blanket. I don't know if I'm going to string it up in the bedroom, but I'll take that blanket. It'd be pretty cool, right?
Oh man! So me, Bond. I like a lot of old movies. I love Gone with the Wind. I love The Wizard of Oz. I love a lot of because it's movies like this that you watch and you appreciate more because you see where so much other stuff got influenced by it down the road. We watched the movie, what was it? The Philadelphia Story. And it kind of had something like this towards the end of it too. You know what I mean? So I like these kind of movies. It's just, there was just something about this one that it just didn't draw me in like all the other ones. And I maybe it's just because I didn't really care for Claudette Colburn. Maybe if I see some of her other work, maybe it's just like, I don't understand. I thought they could have got a better actress to play her part and it might've been a better movie. Maybe that's just me, being cynical. Like I haven't seen her other stuff. This is the first movie I've seen. Matter of fact, this might be the only other Clark Gable movie I've ever watched besides Gone with the Wind 2. And I never knew Clark Gable had a funny side like this. So it's nice to learn stuff about older generations of actors and actresses and see the stuff that directors or even other actors implement into their work because of movies like this. let's face it, the actors didn't even want to do this movie, and I really didn't want to finish watching it either, right? So, but I didn't hate it. Once it started picking up, it was pretty funny. I'm probably going to give it a 7. It won a lot of awards. So when a movie, not every movie that wins a lot of awards is worthy of a high ranking, in my opinion, because sometimes, like I used to watch Siskel and Ebert all the time when I was a kid, and I would go to the movies and I would love this movie, right? And I watched the review and they just tear it down. And then some stupid movie that they would say, oh, watch it. This is we give it 2 thumbs up. And it was just the most boring and terrible movie I'd ever seen in my life. So that's why we like the Tragedy of Cinema reviews, because we're honest people. We give us the heartfelt reviews, right?
Yeah, it's the man on the street review.
Right. So, of course, I'm going to take the auto gyrocopter thing as mine. When he first landed that thing, I was like, where's she going to sit if they get married? But I looked back in the background, you can see like a pilot in there too. So that it should have been at least a 2-seater. I don't know. Sit on his lap. I don't know. So we are the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. We tried to go live on YouTube earlier, and we just had a few problems.
We might be live on YouTube. We know.
I think I deleted it, but I don't know. We talk about me going to the bathroom, and if I'm not back,
you never know.
Yeah. So, and I was looking up there when I got upstairs, and I was like, I see Bond just sitting there, my empty chair, and Bond just sitting down there looking at some notes. I said, we have been live this entire time. And I was like, and then I think my phone was Bluetooth to the Roadcaster here, and it was probably playing all kinds of crazy stuff.
It was.
Yeah, but if you want to follow us, we are now on YouTube. I am uploading all of our library. So there's like 455 episodes, but you can only upload so many a day. So we will be on there. We are going to be doing some lives and stuff on there. Matter of fact, we might drop our next Twilight Zone as the first episode to go live on YouTube, but it'll be live before you hear it on the podcast. Probably. It's just, I don't know how it's going to work yet. So Bon, you got any final last words before we shut this one down?
Watch this one, check it out, review it, then get back to us on Facebook, get back to us on the tragedyofcinema.com or on
.com, yeah,
gmail.com. Yeah. The Tragedy of Cinema at gmail.com.
Did you think that the Man on the Flying Trapeze went on forever?
Yeah,
I did too. I thought they were just going to do the one chorus and give you that, but no, they went through the whole thing. And I was like,
that's the time in the movie where you get up and go get popcorn or go to the bathroom.
No, I kind of enjoyed it. I think that was my favorite part of the movie. Because after I got done, I looked that thing up and I wanted to listen to it. So
now your Spotify's got
it does
trapeze over and over again.
It's also got Send in the Clowns. So I don't know what that says about me.
I wish I was a fish.
We need to make a Tragedy of Cinema Spotify playlist. That's what we need to do. From Bond and Barnes. There we go.
There you go.
Well, with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.
Where memories shimmer, join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema. Where memories shimmer, join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales